everyone, so today we are actually going to be doing a makeup tutorial. It's going to be sort of a full face routine getting ready for a competition. I don't have a competition today, so I might keep it just a little bit light, but I will go into sort of the tips and tricks and ideas that I use to get a full face going. And then later, Jan is actually going to come over and she is going to help me with my hair. And we're going to just film a couple more videos. Hopefully you guys will enjoy them. And let's get started. So for the purposes of keeping this video short, because I am not very good at any of that, I already applied my foundation, as you can tell, and I have my mirror in front of me. So if you see me looking somewhere else that is not at you guys, I apologize. But I already applied my foundation, and the most important thing that I have found that works for me is having a really good brush. So this is the number 55 brush from the Sephora Pro line, and this is called just the airbrush. And the name is very, very true to itself. Like, this actually makes me feel like my skin has been airbrushed. Like, it's so light and so easy to use. I absolutely love it. So first things first, make sure you have a good brush. They can be a little bit expensive, but the thing is, yeah, you'll spend $30 on a brush, maybe $20 to $30 on a good brush, but it will last you forever and it'll make you look good. So in my opinion, the return on investment is really, really good. So that's number one. Number two, I highly recommend picking out two foundations. Considering the fact that you never know what you're going to look like on the day of the competition, you need to make sure that you have options. So for example, if you're using, fake tanner, self-tanner, if you go spray tanning or gradual tanning, you're always going to end up looking different than if you have just one foundation that doesn't actually match the rest of your skin. So what I suggest doing is picking up two foundations in two different colors. I have a very light foundation here, which is my Neutrogena Skin Clearing Oil-Free Makeup. And this is the one that I used for a lighter color. It's really light, as you can tell. And the second color I have is my Rebel Match Perfection Foundation for truer, fresher color. And it is in the number 340 nude. Pretty much, it's just a really, really dark color that I picked out. So that way, no matter what color I am and the rest of my body in the competition, I can match these two together as much as I want and get the color to match my face. So that's a really good way of, saving money in order to not have to buy, different foundations all the time. So that way you always have options. You can just mix and match and get whatever you need. So that's trick number two. Trick number three, always make sure you start with a primer. The primer that I use is the foundation primer from Laura Mercier, and I just really, really like this brand. If you have pores, nobody wants to see them, so make sure you cover that thing up. And that's that. So that's what I start with. I have my foundation on right now, and let's get into the makeup tutorial for the rest of the face. So first things first, I am going to continue with my spiel about primer. And I'm going to follow up with my Too Faced Shadow Insurance Anti-Crease Eyeshadow Primer. You guys have all seen this before. Everybody has one. But anyway, any eye primer will do. I like this one. I also really like the Urban Decay one. I actually like that one, but I don't have it on me. But that one I think works better. It's not as oily as this one. So first things first, we're going to prime our eyes. And what's great about this tutorial is that it's actually really simple. I'm only using just a couple of colors, and it's really easy. Like, anybody can do this. I mean, anybody. Love it. And the palette I'm going to be using today is very tiny. As you can tell, this is my Too Faced I Love palette, and this was a little bonus gift that I got from Sephora as like their Beauty Insider thing. So we're going to start with our dark colors first. So here's another little trick that I learned from a friend of mine. If you are doing any sort of smoky eye or really dark colors, you want to make sure you work your way from darkest to lightest, because that way if you make a mistake, you can always correct it a little bit with the lighter colors. Versus if you start with the lighter colors and then you add the blacks and the browns and whatever that you're using, you might make a hot mess of yourself. So I suggest going from darkest to lightest. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start by creating shadows on my eyes, if that makes sense. I'm going to start with a light dark color, if that makes sense. So let me explain to you. We're going to be working with this color right here, which is just a matte gray, and it's like a virgin. It's in a bunch of other palettes, so you can always find it if you need to. But you can use any matte gray color that you want. And then we're gonna work our way in with Smolder. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a little bit of Like a Virgin, and because this is just a light, sort of dark color, such a weird sentence to say. But anyway, tap off any excess, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna start shading your eyes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start applying this color into the crease, stretching it out and upwards, and then pulling the color down as well. So that way you create a really sort of light outline of where you want your darker colors to be. I'm going to take that color, and like I said, I'm just using a blending brush because I feel that this gives me a really, really nice effect. So then I am going to bring my mirror up a little bit closer so that way I can be a little bit more precise. I'm going to take some of the dark color, which is just a matte black, and that is Smolder. Again, any matte black will do. So just take a little bit of that color, tap off any excess, and then what you're going to start doing is where you have your shadow color is where you're going to start placing on the black color, but more towards the crease and outer V. So I'm just placing the color in like this. So as you can see, I'm still not being super precise. I'm just placing the color, and what we're going to do after is we're going to blend it in with the gray to create a really nice smoky look. But then I'm going to go back in with my blending brush. I'm going to clean off that color just from the brush very, very lightly, and I'm going to start blending those two in together. And, you know, for the purposes of your look, you can keep adding on as much black as you want and just, you know, do it little by little so that way you can gradually build that smoky eye look. So last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this color, which is called Silver Spoon. And it's just a glorious, yes, I did say glorious for an eyeshadow color, which is a bit strange, but it is a beautiful sort of bright electric blue. It's not really an electric blue, but I kind of want to say electric blue even though it's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a little bit of that color. You really don't need a lot. And I like using the blue because I feel like out of all the colors, out of all the bright colors, this really makes a difference on the floor. Like, it makes your eyes really pop. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little bit of that color. Like I said, you don't need a lot. And I am just going to place it on top of the lid and blend it slightly into the gray and the black, but making sure I don't go up past my crease. Very important to remember, if you use black eyeliner to outline the inside of your eyes, it's going to make your eyes look smaller. That's just the way it is. It's an illusion. If you have black nail polish, it's going to make your nails look shorter. Same for the eyes. If you wear black eyeliner, it's going to make your eyes look smaller. You want to make your eyes pop. So that's why I would actually recommend either not outlining or tight lining your lower and upper lid. You might want to apply maybe a little bit of eyeliner on the top. It's absolutely not necessary. If I'm going to have fake eyelashes, then you know, I'm already going to have a little bit of a line anyway, so I personally don't really like to use that much eyeliner. So next, but not, no, it's not last yet, never mind, I was speaking too fast. We are going to work with the eyebrows just a little bit. So as you guys can tell, my eyes are very nicely defined, and I've only used 3 colors, so bonus points. Totally easy look for anybody. Love it. Alrighty, so we did the eyes, let's do the eyebrows. And okay, here's another trick. God, I just have so many today. I am full of knowledge. I'm just going to brush my eyebrows, And you know what they say, the eyebrows are, oh no, the eyes are the windows to the soul, so the eyebrows are the curtains, blah, blah, blah. But I have learned that the more you define your eyebrows, the less you have to define your eyes. So as you can tell, my eye makeup is pretty simple, but you will see a huge difference once I start working on my eyebrows. So as you can tell, one eyebrow done, one eyebrow not done, it already makes a huge difference. It makes your eyes complete, like it just really completes the look. I don't really know what else to say, but I'm going to take a little bit more of those two colors, go in to the other eyebrow, define that. Alright, so I pulled out my Anastasia, I really don't know how to pronounce this brand, but it's just a clear brow gel, and I'm just going to set my eyebrows with this. I'm just making sure that they stay in place. Okay, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of a brow highlight, and I'm going to go back in with my Too Faced palette. Just grab any flat shader brush, and I am going to pick up a little bit of Heaven right here, which is just a white color. A little bit of that, and define my eyebrow. And then I'm going to use a little bit of Satin Sheets right here to give it a little bit of a highlight. Alright, so I am back. I applied my false lashes, and the one I used I put it away for some reason. I used the Forever 21 Love and Beauty Fashion Lashes in, I have no idea, they're one size only. But anyway, so what I did is I just used one of them, I cut it in half, and I apply it to the outer half of my eyes, because I don't really, like I said, I don't like a lot of things, you know, being glued towards the inner corner. It's hard to see. And I just want to give a little bit of definition on the outer half of my eyes. That's where all the black is, as we have placed it earlier. So I'll put that away, and what I just did after that was I used my Maybelline The Colossal Volume Colossal Cat Eyes Mascara, and I really like this one because the wand is very precise, and I feel like it makes it really, really easy to blend the false lashes and the natural lashes together. For today, I'm just going to use the Estee Lauder Pink Passion makeup palette that I've had for I don't know how many years, but it's been forever. So I'm just going to use my Sephora Professional powder brush in, I don't know what number it is, but it's just the professional powder brush. And what's funny about this one is that it's a gradient blush. It's a gradient blush, so you can actually just mix the color that you want, and it will come out looking really fine. So I'm gonna take this color, blend it all in, swirl it all in, and then apply it to my cheeks like so. Okay, there we go. Now we have our blush done. I'll put that away. And I'm going to just go in with a little bit of bronzer and just define just contour a little bit, not define, contour. Clean that off very lightly. It's very clean. I just barely used it. So I'm going to take a little bit of this, just to very lightly chop off any excess. Adjust it down, bring it down. A little bit on my temples, right there. And we are good to go. So this is the finished face look. As you can tell, I'm doing this in steps. I did eyes, I did face, and now really, last but not least, is the lips. The lips is my favorite part because I really like my recent discovery. It's not really recent. I've done this for a very long time now. But honestly, the best things I found, and actually I didn't find them, my mom found them, she had them, and then I stole them, it is the Outlast Lip Stains. These things are freaking amazing. They are so good. And I love them because you're outlining your lips, apply a little bit of gloss or lipstick, and it lasts forever. Even if your lipstick comes off, you still have the stain underneath, which looks amazing. Honestly, I can just wear this on its own and it looks fantastic. So I'm going to use a little bit of this on my lips. And then I also really like the Super Stay 10 Stain Gloss, or 10 Hour Stain Gloss, I guess, by Maybelline. Oops, dropped it. It's kind of like a glossy stain. It lasts for a really long time as well, so I'm going to just apply this a little bit on top. And now the makeup look is complete, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Hopefully you guys found this really helpful and useful on simple skincare wise. Get myself cleaned up right here, that's what I do.